Hey folks, welcome to Clipsy's Bricks. And this is part 2 of the Town Hall modular part out. In this episode, we're going to look at the second and third floor, or first and second, and roof, depending on how you number these things, and answer the question of, is it worth parting out this set? Stay tuned. So to start off, let's address some of the things or a point that I made in the first video, in that right in here and here, I'm going to show a video here, clip here from last time. The instructions use a red 2x2 plate, but I have decided to change that out, and I'm going to show a couple options here. One, I changed it to dark red, and then the other one I changed it to white. Here's all three. Let me know in the comments what you think. Personally, I think the white is the best, and that's actually what I have here. Zoom in here. And I think, and my reasoning for it is, for me, it just continues this line across. So it kind of keeps it uniform, and you've already got that line from those slide rail parts, and I think it just keeps that going. Using the dark orange plates also works, but I really felt it fills it in and kind of truncates those lines, where if you keep it with the white, it's kind of the same up here, and it keeps that, or even on this level too. I zoomed in too much. So yeah, on both on here and here, it just continues to repeat that, that line of white throughout the build. Since this thing is so massive and hard to keep in frame the whole time, I'm going to take the ground floor out, and we'll just look at the next two, the upper floors. So I'll be right back. So similar to the ground floor, the upper floors also have a few parts that were definitely more expensive than everything else, a little bit, I guess, non-standard, although I still consider them fairly standard parts. One is some large plates, which I'll get into in a minute. The other thing is for these sliding door or roller door windows, the black end parts were actually kind of a little bit more difficult to get for some reason, and definitely in black. This actually is a point we'll come back to when we talk about the roof, but I think this is a very easy modification you can make to swap it out to something that's more readily available. And then the third thing that was pretty pricey, and we'll also talk about when we talk about the roof, was this cone tip. But let's look a little bit closer at the other floors. So this is the first or second floor, depending on how you number your floors, which is essentially the mayor's office and the reception area. Nice overlook to the gallery below. And pretty interesting chair build in there. Actually, the one thing you'll notice, I did put a geode on the desk because I couldn't find my frogs. It is supposed to be a dark blue-gray frog, but I will replace that when I do find my frogs. But I thought a geode works just as well. So all in all, that's what we got. And then on the second or third floor, you have a large conference room. Which not sure what I'm going to do with that, but eventually I will fill out these with minifigures and whatnot. And really nice globe. Actually not too bad to get, because it was available in the Ship in a Bottle Lego idea set, so not too bad to get those on the secondary market. And again, I was very impressed with how clean the exterior walls look. There's only pretty much, that's like the one off color for the rest, which was nice to see. So the big thing with these two floors, as far as parts, was the large plates you need, 6x24s, and we'll talk about those right now. So one of the more expensive parts required for the town hall build out is this, the 6x24 plate. You need 4 of them in white, 2 for the second floor, 2 for the third floor, and you need 2 of them in light blue gray for the roof. When I looked for these on Bricklink, they were very expensive. That said, the white ones are actually cheaper than the light blue gray ones. So what I did is I used 2 different plates, a 6x14 and a 10x6 or 6x10 to make up the difference. So what I did is, when I looked at the instructions, I'll take a look here on the second floor, the one plate, the short plate, is right here, and then the 24 long plate goes the distance here. So what you could do, you have your smaller plate here, and then you could bridge it to this supporting 2x plate, and then you could have your third plate here to make up that whole difference. So you would basically have 2 6x12s instead of the 6x24, and then you'd need 4 of them. Well, you'd need 8 because it repeats again on the third floor. And that's basically how I decided what I needed for the roof. Is I looked at the instructions, saw where that cross bracing 2x plate was, to figure out the split. But these 2 plates, or in the case of, because I need double of them, the 4 plates cost much less than just getting the 2 6x24s. So just a thought. The roof really doesn't have too many unique pieces per se. Like I said, I did point out earlier, these roller windows, this black end piece was difficult. I think it's more readily available right now in white. Likewise, the clear windows, I think you can probably get them in that trans light blue. And I think there's an easy color swap you can do right now. Keep the cost a little bit lower. I think I did end up getting these black ones. I imported them from Europe. Lastly, I think the real big price point, other than those plates, is this 2x2 cone top. In black, it's not readily available, and actually I don't remember what I paid for it, but for a single piece, it was very expensive. So that said, I think what I would recommend is to change out all of the black, for the roof cone here, and as well as these slopes here, to a dark blue gray. That actually confirmed. I think these should be available in the dark blue gray. I know the cone pieces, and they can actually get it off of lego.com, but otherwise the black is not available. So that would be my one big recommendation, is a color change on that roof to the dark blue gray. And that would help keep the cost down. All in all, I've really been enjoying the parting out of the retired modulars. I think it's a fun and enjoyable task, if not sometimes frustrating. And I recommend it to anybody interested. Also, with building the older modulars, you learn some building techniques that haven't been used since. And I really think it's worthwhile. So one of the questions I always get when I do one of these part outs is, how much does it cost me? I always have struggled to answer those because I tend to overbuy parts when I order them, just because I want to also build my collection. And when I did the first part out, I kind of ordered exactly what I needed and then realized sometimes I made a mistake and I didn't order enough. So now I just kind of inflate, as far as the general parts, I inflate my numbers a little bit and round up. So that said, I can say as far as this building, it definitely cost me more than Cafe Corner did. And it was probably more in line with what I spent on Green Grocer, although Green Grocer had some parts that were kind of pricey. I mean, so did this one, but the other difference was, I mean, this is a bigger build. There's more parts in the town hall. Actually, I think it is the tallest modular of the series. So it just has more parts, so it therefore costs more. I can say though that parting it out, the set, is cheaper than either buying a new, a used copy, and definitely buying a new copy of it. And probably I would say maybe on average about half the cost of what it would be to buy a used version, depending on the modular. But of course, it's going to cost you more than if you bought one of the non-Lego knockoff versions of the modulars. But that said, also part of my cost is I buy all new bricks where I can. So I'm getting new Lego. It is Lego. So I think for the cost, it's, and the enjoyment of gathering the parts and doing the build, it's worth it for me. But just some things to keep in mind. As always, thanks for watching, and hope you come back. Next time, or the next part out, I have planned, I did give a hint in one of my previous videos, will be the fire brigade. Now I'm waiting on parts still from Lego, so that's probably going to be at least another 6 to 8 weeks, I would think, before I can begin to start organizing and tackling that build. But that fire brigade will be my next modular part out. If you enjoyed these videos, or this video or the other ones, appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video, and it really helps out with the YouTube algorithms. And if you like this kind of content, or my other mock content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and join the community. With that said, take care everyone, and see you soon.